The fan base from Phoenix has made the trip all the way out here to Ball Arena in Denver. Do you guys like being the underdogs? Are you ready? It seems like the relationship you guys have on the court obviously stems from stuff off the court. What is your relationship like with each other as far as being friends away from volleyball?
You're going to try and hit all the different corners in the least amount of time. You ready for it?
Sounds good. Let's start.
If you could point out one contributing factor to that as to why the team has fallen apart in the fourth quarter, what would that be? But at the end of the day, it's just another college football game on Saturday, right? How do you block out the noise and get ready to play? All in all, this is why they call it the People's Open. Head coach Jonathan Gannon said the losing effort falls on the coaching staff and that his players continue to fight despite the losing results week in and week out.
What would you do here in a 1-2 count, looking to put away and get the save like you did the other night? Oh, God.
Probably throw a cutter again.
Okay.
See what I got here again.
This is where Josh learned to play the game just a few miles from his home. He would also watch his dad practice on this same ice sheet. TCU went 9-9 in the Big 12 earlier this season against some of the best competition, and ASU certainly is not at that level. The Cardinals have their bye week in Week 14, marking the latest the team has had it since 1991. Coach Jonathan Gannon says this could be beneficial for his players. However, management has insisted that the Coyotes are here to stay for the long run. Head coach Kenny Dillingham is shaking things up a bit in practice as he was seen taking over the offensive play calling duties. I would expect that things have to get better when your franchise quarterback is back on the field playing. At the time, Bryce Drew's dad, Homer, was the head coach for Valpo. Now Bryce is right up the road here in Phoenix as the head coach for GCU. That's our guy Ben Paris out there at Magnus Arena right now. Ben, how's your hair and how are you feeling over there, buddy? Maybe a hat to keep you warm and all that? How does it feel to still be brought up in terms of one of the greatest moments in March Madness history? The WM Phoenix Open is home to the loudest hole in all of golf. The 163-yard par 3 16th is where normal golf etiquette gets forgotten.
I would call it unmatched energy. You know, you can't really find this. You go to a football game, yeah, it's great and all, but you think of golf, you think of something that's typically boring for the average person, and then you come to something like this, and you really experience something new.
People travel from all over the world for this specific weekend to boo golfers at the 16th hole when they miss the green and cheer for them like they just witnessed a touchdown when they get on the green from their tee shot. And it's the most unique hole for that reason in all of golf.
The screaming, the shouting right when they're walking out, it's booing, it's yelling, it's beer getting thrown everywhere. You kind of have to like shield your head.
The course handicap says 16 is the second easiest hole on the golf course. Saying it's just one of the 18 holes on the scorecard is much easier said than done.
The atmosphere and, the consequences obviously make it, fairly challenging. So it's very rewarding when you hit a good shot and you can walk out of there with 2 or 3. And they'll let you know if you did something wrong.
The greatest show on grass didn't always have its iconic look. Over the years of exciting moments at 16, the 2023 version of this hole is proof that it's come a long way.
When this started, they had a small crowd that would show up, and it's grown over the years. We've had no stadium or coliseum, as you would call it, and it's grown into this thing that's 3 stories tall.
The PGA Tour has explored options for other tournaments to catch on to the ways of 16, but right now this par 3 remains in a league of its own.
Places try and do some stuff to get the energy up and get some, stands and crowds around a certain, hole or area, but this event's kind of special in its own way.
With 2023 in the books, fans will have to wait and see what next year has in store. In Scottsdale, Matt Venezia, Cronkite News.